Today we're going to take a look at rotations. Before we delve into rotations, let's take a look at the vocabulary you would need to know to perform a rotation. Rotation is a congruence transformation in which all points are turned a given degrees in a certain direction. The center of rotation is the point that the figure is being turned. Let's look at what's important here. When we rotate a figure, each point and its image are the same distance from the center of rotation. What that really means is the distance from the center to any point on the shape stays the same. So every point makes a circle around the center. That's all that is. How do I perform a rotation on the coordinate plane? So example 1, we are going to perform a counterclockwise 90 degrees in two different ways. So method 1 we're going to take a look at in class. Let's take a look at method 2. What I want you to do at this point is to turn your paper 90 degrees to the left and look at what quadrant the new shape appears. So let's go ahead and perform that. So when we turn it one time to the left, 90 degrees, the shape appears in quadrant 3. So let's look at the ordered pairs. Okay, let's write down the ordered pairs, the coordinates. So A prime would be -5, -5, B prime, -2, -5, and C prime, -2, -1. When we rotate, it really means to turn a figure. So we're going to take a look at a rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise, or sometimes it will be referred to as 270 degrees clockwise. So the coordinate rule says opposite y, x, and if you take a look closely, your x and your y coordinates are switched. So let's put the rule in words. So we're going to find the opposite of the y coordinate and switch the x and the y. So our first example, we have 2, 1, and when we apply that rule, so first we are going to make our y opposite. I have 1, so when we apply the opposite of y, we're going to have 2, -1. Now next we are going to go ahead and switch our x and y coordinates. So when we do the switch, we now have -1, 2. Hope that makes sense. Don't worry, you're going to have tons of practice in class. Pause the video and give this one a try. Okay, let's see what you got. So you have -3, -10. So the first thing you want to do is make your y the opposite. So when you make that y the opposite, you get -3, 10. Your -10 became +10. Now you're going to switch your x and your y coordinates. When you do that, you're going to have 10, -3. Hope you got that. Now let's perform a 180 degrees rotation. The rule says opposite x, opposite y. Let's put that in words. So we're going to find the opposite of both the x and the y coordinates. Let's look at this example. We have 8, 9. When we perform the rule above, opposite x, opposite y, we're going to have -8, -9. Hope that makes sense. Now pause the video and you give this one a try. Okay, let's see what you got. So you have -5, -3. Apply the rule opposite x, opposite y, and that became 5, 3. Hope you got that. Next, we're going to take a look at a rotation 270 degrees counterclockwise, or we can simply say a 90 degrees clockwise. Let's put that in words. Find the opposite of the x coordinate and switch the x and y coordinates. So for example, we have 1, 9. So we're going to apply the rule and make x the opposite. So when we make x the opposite, we're going to have -1, 9. Now we can go ahead and do that switch. When we switch, it becomes 9, -1. Now pause the video and give this one a try. Okay, let's see what you got. You have -8, 2. So we're going to make our x the opposite. And when we do that, we have negative 8. It became positive 8, so 8, 2. Now we're going to switch the x and the y, which would leave us with 2, 8. Hope you got that. Tomorrow you're going to have tons of practice in class. Remember, you can always pause, rewind, rewatch as many times as you like.